Well, hello, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans, YNR fans. Today's recap is for Monday, August the 1st. Monday, August the 1st. Today's Young and the Restless was just so for me. Ah, Disappointed in Phyllis, but I'm going to get back to her. Okay. Devon and Amanda are back. She's still dealing with, oh, I left my mother. And my whole thing is this: her mother is in a facility being taken care of. Amanda's not going to take the places of her caregivers in the facility. I don't get that. But you know what? Some people need, I guess with her history and not ever knowing her mother growing up, she needs to do that for herself. But I'm surprised Amani left and went, and they didn't make Amani do nearly as much damage as she had hoped to have done with Nate and Elena's relationship. Her mother kind of put a little monkey wrench in her plans, right? Elena shows back up. She's back from Hawaii. First person she came to see was Nate, which was great. They went ahead and he took a break. They went home and they had a little reacquainting in their bedroom. And I mean, he truly loves Elena and she loves him too. And she was asking, how is it going with my contract? And he goes, oh, there's some snags. And he goes, well, what about what's Elena done? I mean, not Elena, Amani done. And he goes, well, she ran into a snag and right now she's visiting her mother. And Elena said, well, perhaps Amanda could look at it. She probably should be the one doing it anyway. And I'm thinking, hello, absolutely, because Amani is not even trying. And Amanda's been so distracted and is really talking about going there. Devon has talked her into working remotely from there. But anyway, so they're going to drag that out. Nate, I don't want to say made a mistake. Devon is making it another mistake when, like Nate said, you gave me the impression it was a go. And then Devon, out of town, made other decisions that he did not loop anybody into. So how was Nate supposed to know? Nate is thinking he's holding down the fort based on the last conversation he had with Devon, and he went with it, which he was in his right. He's not an underling. I think Nate is the C something. Oh, he's something, pretty high up there. He can make a decision. And Devon had the nerve to say, I'm going to get you a mentor. And I thought, whoa, wait, what? Nate might be new. He might be green. You all knew that when you brought him in. But like he said, I'm not a child. This was just a miscommunication, because really Devon didn't communicate with Nate. And had Devon not made that side deal with another artist, he would be happy that Nate picked up the slack and didn't drop a ball and had everything ready. So Devon is kind of going a little overboard where Nate is concerned. Tessa's operation is done, so she can't, talk or speak or sing, and she's got to really rest her vocal cords so that they can properly heal. So she's going to be silent. What's her name? Faith had got her all these balloons and all these little gifts, care gifts for her, and Mariah and Tessa came in, and Faith and Sharon were talking to her. And as they were sitting around the table, I was looking at Faith and Sharon, and I thought they did an excellent casting job. Faith looks like she could be Sharon's daughter. They did a great casting job with that. So, Tessa, we're going to see how intense they're going to make her road to recovery. We're going to see how that goes. I'm sure it's not going to go without a hitch. There's going to be some problems with that. But anyway, now let's get to Phyllis. Phyllis is meeting Summer at the park. She's finding out how they're doing, with breaking the news to Harrison, and Summer was telling them, how it went. And she said that, she was starting to tell her how, Diane was there. And Phyllis was like, oh my God, what? How could she be there and offering any advice with what she did to her son? But anyway, she's like, hey, she was really good with Harrison, so much so that I don't know if Summer told her Kyle told little Harrison that Diane was his grandmother, because Diane walks over. Oh, Diane is at the Abbott house. She's going to take Harrison to the park. I mean, this woman has a job, right? A 9 to 5, which none of them seem to work. And being heads of a new company, it should really be 6 to 6. I understand you had a little problem with your son, Kyle, but you and Summer are not doing anything. And Diane, all she got to do is take her grandson to the park during working hours. My goodness, that's not, what kind of, can I sign up for a job like that? Just go to the park and chill every day with my grandson. Jack's like, no, I have meetings I need to do at the office. And Diane's, come on, let's go to the park. So guess what Jack ends up doing? But anyway, Diane walks over to Summer and to Phyllis and interrupts, excuse me, Summer, I need to tell you this. And Phyllis immediately goes on the attack. Like, I'm talking to my daughter. We are having a meeting, pretty much like go away. And Summer's kind of like, well, I need to know what she needs to tell me. I mean, come on, Phyllis. So Diane is saying, I need to tell her about Harrison, because he was just traumatized this morning. Things went well. Kyle even told him, I'm his grandmother. See, Diane does say things to push Phyllis's buttons, and it doesn't take much, because you could barely kind of put your finger towards the button and Phyllis is going to blow up where Diane is concerned. You don't even have to push. You don't even, just barely pretend to push and Phyllis is off of a deep end. But Summer notices what Diane does. She just doesn't. She just looks. And in my mind, I'm thinking Phyllis has just ruined her case for Summer to give her a job. What did she say? Oh, please, I could get along with Diane. We won't even see each other. No, there'll be no problems. Phyllis she's yelling at the top of her lungs. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why on earth are you talking so loud? Why on earth do you want the entire park? Really, that's how loud Phyllis was completely yelling. Okay? I'm surprised somebody didn't say, hey, Mom, dial this down a notch, right? So, of course, Jack comes over. Phyllis is at the height of her yelling, and he's like, hey, no, whoa. You stop this. Harrison is right there at the swings. What are you doing? Don't you know Harrison? And she's like, well, no, I didn't know Harrison was there, and she's still posturing, and Summer's just standing there. But Diane's like, well, Jack, in Phyllis's defense, she didn't know Harrison was there. And she knew that would even just set Phyllis off even more. And so Jack is like, but see, this is what's not supposed to happen. And so Diane says, you know what? I'm going to go over to Harrison at the swings. I'm going to go over to my grandson. She didn't say that, but she should have, because I just threw that in, because that's really what she meant, right? So Phyllis looks at Summer, and no, Summer said, Jack, I really don't think Harrison heard this, and whatever it is, it can be smoothed out. And so Phyllis looks at Summer and says, Summer, why don't you go on over there to Harrison? Because we really don't want him alone with Diane too long, as she's looking at Jack, right? And so Jack is like, see, this is always, you always have to do this. You have to just escalate things with Diane. And Phyllis is like, she has to escalate things with me. She was over here, pushing my buttons, and you always talk about what I'm doing. What's she doing? And you come to her rescue every time. So she goes, you say you love me, yet you are the one in her defense against me. That is always my problem. And so Jack is like, I forget what Jack says, something like, yeah, but me loving you has nothing to do with you making this a difficult situation. And he's telling her, he goes, no matter what, Phyllis, I will never truly trust Diane. I can't, for all the things she's done. And in my mind, Phyllis should have said, well, you could have fooled me, buddy, because it looks like you've forgiven her foot, line, and sinker. You know how manipulative she is, the things she says, undertone things, but that's okay with you. No one is supposed to react, right? So Phyllis she's watching, she's checking out Jack's reaction to her, and she's kind of trying to test the waters with him, as into, okay, we're talking about how much we love each other more every conversation. She's making sure it comes up. Yeah, you do love me, mister. Don't you forget it. So it was just interesting that, for one, I don't know where Phyllis, where she think that's gonna go. Where is it gonna go? Because quite frankly, had Kyle not been at the coffee house and Kyle been the one that walked up and Phyllis was yelling at the top of her lungs, that would have set Kyle off. It really would have. And then Summer, what is she supposed to do? Phyllis doesn't care. And that's one thing Jack said. Jack said, I care about everyone involved. I care about how things are going to affect Harrison, how they're going to affect Kyle, and how they're going to affect Summer. Okay, I have to take all these things in considerations before I react. And then Phyllis like, are you trying to tell me I don't care about, how things affect Summer? And in my mind, I'm thinking, no, you don't. You really don't. Because you're going off a deep end at your daughter's expense when you already know your daughter is going to back her husband. Summer has made that clear. She's never wavered on that, as she should back her husband. But Phyllis is just being Phyllis, and I don't see her working at Marchetti anytime soon. As a matter of fact, that would be the most disastrous thing on the planet. So hopefully Kyle shuts that, and not even Kyle shuts that down. Hopefully Summer comes to enough senses to see, my mother, this is a brand new company. We're trying to make it a success. My mother cannot come in and mess this up, because Phyllis would mess it up. So yeah, no. Hopefully Summer has enough backbone to just tell Phyllis, you know what, Mom, this absolutely, positively, no, it's not going to work with you working at Marchetti. That's just not going to work. So let's go on to comment corners. I got some comments from the weekend show. Annette gave us 4 comments, and she was just commenting on the storyline, how it was major. We went major from Abby and the whole Dom, the baby between Devon, all of that whole situation. We went from that storyline to Diane playing grandmother. And then Annette feels that Harris's mother, Tara, will return with Ashlyn. Ashlyn is dead, Annette. He's dead. And take Harrison. So my comment is, this could be interesting how the writers may throw this in, but then I think they've kind of written Tara off. I have always felt that Ashlyn framed Tara. He did that to her. She was stealing from her own company. He did that to her to get her. He was pissed that she had the affair. Now, Kyle had, at that point, some types of visitation, was just finding out that Harrison, really getting a relationship with Harrison. Tara was staying at the Abbott house. I think Ashlyn did that to get her back, to just punish her for that. And I would hope, on his death, or he had instructions at the attorney that, look, if I die, anything happens, here's proof that Tara is innocent. Because Tara coming out of jail, Kyle didn't have custody. Tara had full custody of her son. Now she may have to fight the courts again, but her being able to prove she was framed, she was innocent, that would go a long, long way. And Tara would be the one able to take Harrison from Kyle. So let's see if they plan on, you know, bringing Tara Locke back into the picture or not. And then Annette said she told us so about, you know, Adam was going to definitely run to Sharon, turn to Sharon, talk to Sharon, and Sharon to me is giving Adam an in. Now Monique said, who can Adam really be himself with? Well, really, it's Sharon. They all say they accept him for his flaws, but then when he shows women who he really is, they leave disappointed. Sally Spectre was not going to leave disappointed, because in reality, Sally Spectre, her flaws run deeper. Well, I can't say deeper than Adam's, but she's the mirror image, the female version of him. Okay, she was his ride or die girl, and that is, I kind of liked them together. I really, really did. So, and I'm hoping they kind of get back together again. Now, Treasure says the yellow papers in the envelope look like Nicholas and Ava's divorce papers, but why would Esme take them? And I said, no. What was in that yellow envelope was handwritten. It was sticking out. It was one of her handwritten notes. And sure enough, they showed her in today's episode, thinking about when she wrote her nanny. She was writing her nanny about what was going on in Port Charles. And what's interesting to me is the depth that Esme, wait a minute. That's General Hospital. Let me see, Treasure. Treasure, that's a different soap. I gotta throw that on the General Hospital recap because I'm going on and on. That's not Young and the Restless, but those of you all know it's Young and the Restless and General Hospital, and sometimes the comments come mixed in. So great comment, Treasure. I'm going to throw that on my General Hospital daily recap tomorrow, so we can hear your thoughts on that tomorrow on the right soap. But Young and the Restless fans, please give me comments. I love to talk about your comments. You know, let's talk about the soaps. So that was Monday, August the 1st, daily recap of The Young and the Restless. I'll be back tomorrow, although I kind of think we're going through a little lull with The Young and the Restless, but we shall see. So I will be back tomorrow.